Listen up, little bums. This is first Ghost and Maru talking. You're still trying to get through the witness's portal, huh? That ain't a door you can just kick open. You even asked some leftover worm for answers. Too bad she led you right to us. Now you need help from the one witch nobody can trust. My boss, Savathun. Even though she's temporarily dead, she left instructions for this very situation. As usual, you maggots are 3 steps behind. Savathun will help you on one condition. First, deal with her sister, Xivu Arath. She's the Hive God of War and the Witness's best general. It's a win-win, see? Don't look so sour. You've already got everything you need. I suggest you start with a witch of your own.
Guardian, the Witness poses a dire threat, and the Witch Queen holds the answers we seek. But only if we contend with her sister. Amaru has promised us a method for defeating Xivu Arath, arranged by Savathun before her death. There is a spire atop her throne world's sanctum, a place of dire experiments where she abused the light. With this knowledge, Imaru and I have devised a powerful artifact infused with Hive magic. It will allow you to dispel the Witch Queen's trickery and master the spire through a ritual of our own.
Even in death, the Witch Queen lays her snares for us. Be careful, Guardian.
This is a real privilege, so act like it. Savathun doesn't open a spire to just anyone.
If such a place exists.
Why lie, when the truth is so much more dangerous?
Imaru, tell your lucid hive to stand down.
Savathun's orders are for them to guard the spire. I'm sure your little glowworms can handle it.
I don't like this. Resurrecting Savathun, using her magic. This is exactly what we wanted to avoid.
The Witch Queen knew she could entice us with a common goal. Removing the threat of Xivu Arath.
Yeah. And she knew the Vanguard had a little Hive acolyte of their own. That's why she's opening up her spire. She thinks you've got what it takes.
Void crystals bend reality through tightly channeled power. Shatter them to break their control.
Use that witch's staff to cast a little spell of your own. Spire's just up ahead. Don't need more than some lightless lackey's fancy eyes to see it.
This is where the Witch Queen fell, and you fled for your life. Remember that.
We should focus.
That was a fluke. Your guardians got lucky.
Really? How many of your apostate ghosts have seen the Guardian's mercy?
Don't you threaten me.
I am not threatening you. I am telling you what the Guardian will do.
So where is this spire?
You'll see. Sabathun's illusion.
Conduct the arc charge between the crystals. Guardian, channel your magic with the witch's staff. You now wield hive magic, and have entwined it with your light. Whatever you face next, will test that power to its limits.
You think your guardians are up to scratch?
What will we find inside the spire?
A way to take down her sister. That's all she told me. And that's all I'm telling you.
And she'll uphold her bargain? Give us the information we need.
I'll bring it back as soon as Ibu's taken care of. Then you can ask her yourself.
Guardian, traverse the spire. We shall see what morsel of truth awaits us. There is nascent light to be found here. We must stoke it and harness its power. Be prepared for anything. Destroy them, Guardian. Like the way up is cleared. Be careful.
Guardian, I'm sure Imaru has given you a warm welcome on my behalf.
Sabathun's dire machinations echo through these halls. She whispers from the past anticipating each outcome.
She left you some recordings. It ain't that deep.
You've accepted my proposal. We have mutual interests after all, despite our bad blood. You might not believe me, but I love my sister. But to us Hive, love is death. No one knows more about killing her than I do.
Break the charge of arc energy to contain its light. Transfer the arc charge to each crystal. Spire is alive with light. We have redirected the Witch Queen's spells and empowered it to some end. I am not certain. Hive runes manifest here. Discern their pattern and traverse the Witch Queen's labyrinth.
Zeborah can't be confronted. That's what she wants, and she always gets exactly what she wants. So spoiled, so loud. You'll have to find another way. Only her equal could ever have a hope of overcoming the threat of my sister's war march. Only a Hive.
So, it rests with me, Eris.
My sister depends on the foundations of her cold logic. If you want to remove her from the board, you'll need to test her thesis. There's power for the taking, Eris. And for that, you'll have to prove your right to exist.
Savathun speaks of the sword logic.
No, we can't play the Hive God's games.
And yet we must.
Clear out the scores and take the spire. What did we do?
We have reconfigured the inner workings of the spire and opened may use this power to our own ends.
Eris, you can't. This is dangerous.
Meet with me, Guardian. I will prepare the ritual.
Xivu Arath draws strength from our conflict. She believes her logic absolute. I will grasp it and contravene its power. There is no other way.
Will you come back from this?
Does it matter if I do? What I am has served me, and has served humanity. Arca, Zeta, Sel.
This is what Savathun wants.
We serve our interests, not Savathun's.
She's outmaneuvered you again. You need me!
We need your silence. Do not be afraid. Bear witness to my sublimation. I separate the true from the dead. I am the many-mouthed hunger. I am the knife-edged truth. I devour the free. I conspire with my vengeance. I will take what I need. The words in my throat are the weapon in my fist. Hayat! Hayat! Hayat!
Bring me your tithes.
Guardian, though my form twists in this rune-bound circle, I remain Eris Morn, given not to the deep, but to vengeance. The Hive have taken much from me. By naming the worms, I have taken from them, and I must take from you. The splinter of Hive worm rests in your staff. It is enough to bind us and mark you as my acolyte. By the sword logic of the Hive, your conquests strengthen me. You must tithe mightily if I am to become strong enough to defeat Xivu Arath. She draws power from all conflict. She is the Blade Breaker, War, Drinker, Conqueror, Immortal. Hayat, drown her in blood. Add your voice to the chorus of violence. Let us show her what it is to be Hive.
Guardian, Eris has detected a gravitic anomaly beneath the spire. She thinks it's a ritual chamber.
We call that the Arcane Oubliette. Savathun stores all kinds of drooling goons in there. Warm bodies for her magical experiments. If you want to feed blood and guts to your discount Hive god, that's the place to do it.
Panic! Echo upward from a well of power and death. I sense the oubliette beneath you, Guardian. Assemble in the ritual space, and we shall harvest the fruit of Savathun's foul experiments our own.
After I resurrected Savathun, she was dying to learn about her new light. But she needed test subjects to experiment on. Same way you use the poor slobs in Gambit for target practice. Then listen to this.
I named this chamber the Oubliette, after a human invention. A prison where the only exit is the ceiling, just out of reach. A place for people to be thrown in and forgotten, until the time is right. This is where I'll keep in touch with all my bygone subjects, both as a queen and researcher.
Do you feel it? The latent power of the Witch Queen's spellcraft. Finalize the ritual to complete the summoning. Your tides flow through me like a surge of hot blood.
Where are these subjects being summoned from?
Some kind of suspended animation? Maybe they're teleported from somewhere right into your gun sights. But what do you care? They're all just dead meat to you.
Conjures forth horrors once cloistered, awaiting brutal rituals. And so they shall receive it. I feel in your tides the fear and anguish of our foes. Exalt in your retribution.
You know why the boss is so much better at magic than you? It's because she's not afraid to make the tough choices. Listen.
I'd like to share my experiments with the Guardians one day, just as we share the light. But I know they won't approve of my methods. They love omelets, but hate breaking eggs. Maybe participating in my rituals will expand their provincial sense of morality.
Your arcane skill expands with each ritual you complete. Our powers grow in tandem until we are ready to challenge the god of war himself. In the name of retribution for the lost, Bell, Floriana, Oma, Sai, and Colin. Tithe unto me, Acolyte.
Guardian, the value of the magic you've unearthed here is undeniable. But watching you and Eris revel in violence, tithing with hive rituals, it was disturbing.
Like it or not, your witch is gonna need a lot more tithes before she's powerful enough to challenge Sivu. So, go ahead, sport. Make a mess. Enjoy yourself. Welcome to the hive.
It's hard not to feel that this is my responsibility. While we in the tower gathered intel and debated over what action to take next, Eris threw herself into a dangerous ritual of her own devising. She was audacious. And she was right. We had to accept Savathun's bargain. We must pursue the witness at any cost. But I didn't imagine we would risk Eris in the exchange. She remains herself. I recognize Eris when I look into her eyes. She wears her new form like a suit of armor, but she speaks of whispers calling to her from the deep, and I have no assurance she can resist them forever. You must embrace the Hive rituals as she did. Offer your tithes so that she may gain the power she desires, and quickly. Commit yourself to her guardian. I believe it is in everyone's best interest to keep her metamorphosis as brief as possible.
Hive magic reveals itself in precise shapes. They follow the same lines and the same means. And yet our rituals still hold many secrets. Cards have scattered in the wake of your oblations. Our bond made manifest. I call them the Deck of Whispers. And they do whisper. Each of their ideograms appears to carry the weight of symbolism. Do not fault them for the forms they take. They are reflections of the real, and as opaque as the natures of their referent. We will interpret their configurations, divine their use. They may hold many meanings, alone and in conversation. As with all Hive magic, they ask us to separate the true from the dead. We will do so. Greetings, Guardian. I am focusing my will, preparing myself to step into the ritual space once again. When I first transformed, I thought I might become something greater. Instead, my doubts fell away and I found myself simplified, refined. Though I became Hive, I was more myself. I mentioned that to Ikora and she furrowed her brow. I told her she would have time to worry later. But now, I need tithes. Sword logic may be Hive philosophy, but your tithes of power are real. And when I absorb them, it feels like hope. Fight in my name, Guardian. Every opponent you defeat strengthens me, from Shax's crucible to Savathun's own throne world. The Hive believe that only the strongest have earned their existence. If a queen cannot hold her power, she must be betrayed. I will not deny them their dogma. I will embody it. The sword logic. The impetus of the Hive. Oryx, the Taken King, brother to Savathun and Xivu Arath, sought whispers from the worms of fundament and dredged this truth from the deep. All things must prove their right to exist. The rest will die in terror. There is neither escape nor exemption. Simple, essential, beautiful to know. Oryx led his sisters down the bladed path. We have tested ourselves against horrors. We emerge changed. Through this, we become stronger. We become free. We will avail ourselves of our enemy's tools. Xivu Arath believes every death proves the sword logic. That she unveils the false shape of the Traveler's lie by her blade. But she needs her truth. She is desperate for its vindication. She wishes for a world without grief, or pity, or doubt. Not baleful, not beautiful. A childish cry. The Hive call us liars, the unfree, deniers of the all-edged truth. But I take the power the sword logic offers not out of desperation, but desire. For Crota. Oryx. Savathun. I wield their killers as a knife. The Hive know this truth as well as any logic. I am here, and they are not. Ayat.
I heard you Guardians got a lesson in sword logic today. You think you can defeat Xivu Arath with philosophy? Right. Let me show you something. Savathun kept records, and I took a look at what she had on her sister. Got a recording from way back, just after you Guardians drop-kicked Oryx into Saturn's orbit. Call it a primary source for your little research project.
Our brother is dead. I will take my revenge as he fought for his son. Revenge? For what? The dead deserved to die. That's your own logic. Oryx was a hypocrite, and so are you. He loved us. He made of our deaths a study. And she, who has endured, who sharpened the sword of his defeat, has done the same. She will take up his mantle. When she is paired to her true shape, we will meet her on the bladed path. What a vain child you are. Oryx spoiled you rotten. Not everyone wants to be like you. And you won't always get your way. I will test my strength against her brood, and she will prove our logic true.
Do you see what you Guardians did? Do you see what's happening here? Xivu Arath thinks Eris is one of them, some kind of heir to Oryx. That ritual of hers tied a pretty bow on that theory. This is all part of Savathun's plan. But I can't help wondering, what the hell does Eris think she's doing?
Hey, Eris. Heard we have some, strange bedfellows. Though, if a bedfellow ain't strange, then they're probably not worth having.
So it seems. Have you come to urge caution? To advise against temptation?
Nah, you know what you're about. But I'm wondering, what's it like?
It begins as a feral surmise. A suspicion. I hear whispers, but they are in my voice. It rises until I am screaming. I make a demand. An atavistic fear now sublimated into a singular, desperate urge. A hunger I must endlessly sate. But the Hive are not afraid. They are awestruck. They know that I am vengeance, and they have conjured me back with vengeance.
Ooh, Sounds like a wild ride.
I seek to subvert the Hive's flawed logic. I may only do so because of what I am, and what I am not. It is a wild ride.
Hey, I'll be there when you're on the other side of this.
As will I. Trust.
Surprise, sunshine. Thought I'd hack this old holotech and say hello. I don't like this whole let's work together plan, but I don't have to. I've got my orders. Let me play something for you.
Imaru, if I am indisposed, bide your time. The witness will force the Vanguard's hand eventually, and they'll realize they need information only I possess. One of them will be open to a bargain. Not Mara again, poor dear. More likely Ikora, or her gloomy little hanger-on Ares. Give them any help they ask. It'll all be worth it in the end. And tell them something clever, to make them think that this was their idea.
You get all that, Guardian? Savathun wants me to give you the soft sell. But that's not really my style. So, go ahead. Bust up the throne world. Get as strong as you like. Tithe to Eris until she's fat as a tick. It's all part of Savathun's plan. Oh, you need any help digging your own grave? Just let me know.
Beloved acolyte, champion of violence, bearing tides raw and sweet as bitten sores. A voice from the deep whispers, in your immortality, Eris Morn, may you never cease your demand for vengeance. I refuse. In time, I will destroy this hive form alongside the rest. Its power has no hold over me. Zivor-Roth will not fall to might alone. Every clash of blades invigorates her. Even now she feeds, as she has fed since the first red cough, the first war song. Still, I savor every tithe. Their strength thrills me, and there are so many old debts to repay. But this is not the time. The cards speak of change. A ripple is cast. A great shadow rises from the sea of blood. Something is coming. Eris Morn, you know that there is only war. You prove my logic true. Meet me in blood. Match me in violence. Our broods will feed us with their tribute.
Zivor-Roth, when this is finished, you will turn and run, and your worm will gnaw at you as if you were a buried corpse. You will have no tribute then, and you will starve.
This isn't over. Zivor will keep coming until she wins her war.
We need to rethink our plan.
No. Our plan needs no revision. Her presence proves its efficacy. We must press on.
Eris, we can't fight her.
But we can hold the line until a way forward is found. Guardian, proceed to the Witch Queen's wretched oubliette. Claim the tithes before Zivor-Roth takes them as spoils of her eternal war.
I don't like this.
You don't need to.
All right, you're here. This is serious, so listen, and listen good. Xivu Arath's forces got into the throne world. This wasn't part of the plan, and it's bad news for everybody. Savathun's been hoarding powerful creatures in those summoning pits for a long time. Partially to study, but also to keep them out of the hands of her sister. If Xivu is able to take that extra power for herself, forget it! We're all dead! You need to claim those tithes. I hate seeing it all wasted on that weirdo heiress, but it's better than the alternative. Time to get to work, hero. The boss was hoping it wouldn't come to this, but only amateurs rely on wishful thinking. Listen to this.
If Xivu Arath learns what the Guardians are up to in my oubliette, she'll do what she always does. Attack. Lucky for us, her poor Wrathborners look eager to die. They'll make lovely tithes, provided the Guardians survive long enough to collect them.
When I discovered this fire, I saw heresy. A temple of the sky. I sought to destroy it. But now, I see truth. It is built on a foundation of death. A temple of the sword. Logic so pure, even the warriors of the sky honor it. Our rituals are discovered by the Eater of Weakness, the god of the rotten slain, Xivu Arath. Show her that the logic of the sword is no longer the hives alone to wield. Your tides I sense, millennia of conquest. The Hive's eternal sword poised to strike down the world. Liar, enemy, worshipper! You would disavow me, even as you lay tribute at my feet. Turn your weapons against me, for I am the destruction you create! Xivu Arath would lay claim to all conflict, but she is no longer the only Hive god of strife. Wrest these tributes from her grasp, for they are now mine. Your tributes sharpen a blade that would soon pierce the heart of war itself. Exalt me with your violence, as you have always done! You are deserving of the greatest death I can bestow, worshipper. The Leviathan is ready to self in your honor!
The Leviathan Eater was testing your capabilities. He'll be back with reinforcements once Xivu's brood is assembled.
Sometimes I think the boss believes in you more than her own brood. She left this for you.
If the Guardians survive my sister's assault, it'll be on account of their ferocity, not their clemency. Xivu Arath will be thrilled. The Guardians will claim self-defense, of course, but that self-deception will only work for so long. Eventually, they'll have to admit they live by the sword as much as my sister does. It's so nice when the people we love all get along, don't you think?
I can hardly believe the tactical reports I'm writing. Vanguard forces, pursuing tithes to Hive-communed Eris Morn, have engaged Xivu Arath's troops in Savathun's throne world. We are caught between the sister gods of combat and lies, and we're trying to resurrect the one who's caused us the most suffering. Even if we win, we lose. We accepted an impossible bargain. Savathun knew we couldn't defeat Xivu Arath. No one can win a battle against war itself. Eris understands this better than any of us. I know she's working on a plan. But I must still prepare for unexpected outcomes. If her transformation is influencing her judgment, how would I know? What could I even do to keep her safe? Guardian, be careful. We've lost so much to the Hive already. We can't let them take any more.
So, you're really taking on Xivu Arath's top general. I love watching you do our dirty work. I was digging through Savathun's archives and I found this little gem from about 1 million years ago. I figured you should know what you're up against.
For the first time, the Ammonites broke us. Hordes of my brood lay rotting in tribute. And the fetter of weakness was upon us. But our enemies have maid stars of their own. Their crew admiral abandons the battlefield to attend their frail Leviathan. They would live in peace without first killing death. We shall reward their insolence without mercy. Go forth, my brood. Devour their Leviathan. Become their extinction and make temples of their corpses.
You humans think you're so special. The Ammonites had the Traveler, a Leviathan, even their own light. Their civilization made you look like pawn scum. But they ain't around anymore. Because Xivu's brood wiped them out. Every last one. And you're next. Hey there, Twinkles. Heading back into the throne world? Gonna hope Savathun left some tips about beating Xivu you can peek at. Because from where I'm sitting, Eris doesn't have a clue. I don't think you realize how lost you'd be without Savathun's plan. Even dead, she's smarter than you. She had it all figured out years ago. Take the Traveler, seal it away, keep it hidden from the witness, clean and easy. But there's nothing you Guardians hate more than a plan you're not the center of. So you stormed the gates. Liberated your darling Traveler, and put it exactly where the witness knew you would. And now, here we are, with everything pretty much ruined. So go ahead, keep trying to outsmart Savathun, when she's just trying to undo all the damage you've done. The Traveler didn't make a mistake when it chose the Hive. It was fixing the mistake it made when it chose you.
Welcome back, Sloan.
It's good to be back. But from Asa's impressions, I guess this isn't a social call.
Unfortunately not. What do you know about Eris's plan?
Only that she and Asa are bound by some kind of hive ritual. I was against it, but like Asa said, Sometimes we have to become our enemies to defeat them.
That's exactly what concerns me. Sloane, I need to speak with her.
No. Asa's done enough for the Vanguard. She's barely recovered from...
I will speak. Bound by covenant. Tides held between a current.
You're helping Eris contain the energy from the tides.
Eroding. Hollowing. Release in time. Or remain bound. Without end.
If the ritual goes on for too long, Eris will be trapped as a hive.
And Asa will be corrupted. Twisted into... something horrible. Ikora, I'll tear the tower to the ground before I let anything happen to her.
It won't come to that, Sloane. I promise.
Guardian, I have been taking time to reflect on Ikora's conversation with Sloane and Asa. I knew there would be torment in embracing the Hive and the poisonous squall of their violence. I thought myself prepared for it. I have lived long in shadow, and the shrieking horrors of the Hive would provide solace from my quotidian dreams. When I named the worms, I evoked only their resonance. But Asa responded. She is a willing and vital catalyst to empower my morph, but her pain is real and immense. My aim in this grotesque conversion was to shoulder the risk myself. But feeding from Asa's suffering, that is a line I did not think I would cross. Guardian, keep by my side so that we may soon leave these deeds behind us. I refuse to become something I am not.
The worm gods extract their sustenance from between what is and what might be, between the actual and the possible. When the Hive made their ill-fated pact with these worms, they gained immortality and the power to make of the world as they willed. Few beings in this universe derive their power this way. The Queen of the Reef believes it is the same method as the Ahamkara.
The Wish Dragons were too dangerous to exist.
So is Xivu Arath. My connection to Asa is regrettable. But this was the only path towards my goal. I invoked the worms, and she answered.
And did you know that this would happen?
It was possible. As all things are possible with this kind of power. This bond has not been attempted since the worm gods made their bargain with Witness. Asa may have rejected it then, but the desire to overpower the universe with one's will is woven into her being. She is not beholden to it, not addicted or enslaved. The deep is not her nature, but I have tangled myself within this desire through the use of the staff's larva. Now I possess her power.
This could kill both of you.
That risk is ours to take.
I've got something for you. Savathun said if you ever got this far, I should play back one of her predictions. Not that you deserve it, but she's almost rooting for you.
My realm holds secrets within secrets. If they're able to use their light and dark to peel away the illusions, then they've been paying attention. Power corrupts, of course. And when those that Guardians get all twisted up in deep magics and high rituals, that's when things really start to get weird. I can't wait to see what they're capable of.
So, there you go. A little pat on the head from Savathun. I know you Vanguard types thrive on positive reinforcement. Me? I figure Xivu's gonna squish Eris like a greasy little bug. Then we're all doomed, of course. But at least it'll be fun to watch.
Guardian, by your incursions into Savathun's spire, the Witch Queen's experimentation is revealed, and her secrets lie open to us.
Your progress is impressive. Hive magic intertwined with the light. You master it with each breach of the spire. But don't lose sight of our goal. Xivu Arath is still our greatest threat, and tithing to Eris has its limits.
We have not yet reached them. You frighten the Hive. Again and again you show them that their understanding is incomplete. You have heard me utter their invocation, Iqopl. It means that which is said must be so. It is a conclusion. A halmos that marks the preceding argument as demonstrated true.
Think of it as a mathematical proof.
You are the logic that demonstrates it, and we are the truth it infers. Iqopl.
She can't keep doing this. Sooner or later, it will end. Remember, you're in control of when it does.
We have discovered a vast chamber above the Witch Queen's oubliette. Undoubtedly, it guards one of Savathun's secrets. Uncover it.
Hey, where do you think you're going? Get out!
We need no permission. The spire is open to us, and we will go where we please.
You don't even know what's in here.
An engine to generate Imbaru. Savathun's reinterpretation of her brother's logic.
Exercise caution, Guardian. This vault was designed to confuse you. Conquer it.
You glowbugs are awfully trusting. I'm not too comfortable giving all this juice to your kooky little witch. The Exo Stranger warned you that Eris would be corrupted by power and turn into a tyrant. Said she's gonna rule us all. Even Savathun.
In Elsie's timeline, Eris was corrupted by stasis in the darkness. But here, Guardians wield both safely. We've proven that they can be used for good.
For your little parlor trick, sure. But this is Hive magic you're playing with. You're really gonna hand Eris godlike power and just hope she keeps it together? After you was specifically warned not to? The hubris!
Elsie said that Eris succumbed to despair, pushed over the edge by her nightmares. But the Eris I know has been tested countless times and never once faltered. Instead of being overwhelmed by her nightmares, she conquered them. Besides, our Eris has an even greater advantage. She has her friends protecting her, and that's a force strong enough to alter any timeline.
It is good to see you. I was taking a moment to prepare for the ritual. There is suffering in anticipation, but strength in its acknowledgement. And, if I am to be honest, something more. Guardian, a moment of peace awaits in the midst of the frenzy. A moment born of ugliness and violence truly earned. It is justice. So I will step again into the ritual space and be consumed by the profane chitin. When you tithe to me, I will feel the rank blood of your offerings flow down my throat. And as the vile power fills me to bursting, my thoughts will be only of the Hive Sisters, Savathun, Xivu Arath, of my plans for them. It is then I find that sweet moment, and deep beneath my hideous mask, I smile.
I gotta admit, kid, you're stacking some legit tithes. You got a real flair for brutality.
Sword logic is an ironically blunt tool, easily wielded by even the dullest mind. Though I must admit, to be guided by such simple-mindedness is liberating.
And what's your grand purpose? Peace and unity?
Vengeance. Against the Hive.
Hey, I don't blame you. Being Savathun's ghost is no treat. I'm not looking forward to bringing her back.
Not least because her absence made you de facto general of the Lucent Brood.
Leadership suits me.
For now, your time of self-glorification has nearly passed.
That's rich coming from a wannabe Hive god. Even with the Guardian's help, you're still coming up short. You're not even close to Xivu's strength yet. And you look like a screeb ready to pop.
Fear not, you osseous little toad. The path to victory lies close at hand. Even if you lack the eyes to see it.
This has to stop. Throwing yourself into danger is not going to solve our problem. We have to step back and find another way.
You would put me in the library, and I would be so glad of it that I would never set foot outside its walls. But only I can stop Xivu Arath, and nothing is won by my complacency.
Eris, this is too much for you.
I am not so frail, Ikora.
I have never thought that.
Then do not treat me as such. You know that I am capable. And now you know of what. Ikora, I have always had your trust. And you have never needed my forgiveness. Now please, I ask for your support.
Do you know what I see? A friend who takes risks because she doesn't want anyone else to. A friend who is too afraid to look away from disaster and thinks destroying herself is the only way to stop it.
I held back when Savathun took the light. I allowed others to go in my stead and take the revenge I am owed. But I made a promise to myself. I would be her ruin. We both value action in times of loss. Let me act. Let me be who I am.
I don't want you lost to this.
Then help me finish it.
I'm gonna give it to you straight, Sunbeam. I've run the numbers, and your gal Eris doesn't have what it takes. She talks a good game, but she's nowhere near strong enough to deal with Xivu. This whole idea was a long shot from the start, and you Guardians came up short. So listen, I don't plan on getting crushed by Xivu, or you, or anybody else for that matter. I'll stick around, but if things get hairy, I'm out of here. Savathun can stay dead for all I care. Doesn't make any difference to me. Maybe I can do the Finch thing. Be a free agent. Ah, don't look so surprised. Sure, your ghost would never abandon you, but there's one important difference between him and me. He's an idiot. Sorry to rain on your parade, but there's no way this ends in anything but a bloodbath. And I don't plan on getting caught in it.